Cradle, Dogs of Fount. Chapter 9. I didn't know someone could ever feel so sad. I feel like dying, but I'm only 13. I know it's not our fault, or my fault. I'm still young. I didn't know what I was doing. I guess if I write it out, it will make me feel better. My dad calls it getting it off your chest. It was a month ago, and I was over my friend Becca's house. Her grandma was there watching us. We're 13. We don't need a babysitter. But it wasn't her fault. Becca's grandma's name is Nina. Becca calls her Grams. So we got bored after just talking for a few hours upstairs. Becca wanted me to do my old man impression. I have a naturally deep voice for a girl my age, and I was just messing around one day and I found out that I could do a great old person impression. So after I got Becca laughing, I came up with a stupid idea. She followed me to the top of the stairs and I called Grams in the old man's voice. I pretended to be Robert, her dead husband. I don't know why Becca let me do this, but anyway, I really got Grams going and she was getting all confused. I wanted to stop, but Becca was laughing so hard, and I don't know, it was just funny. It's been a month now and Becca told me Grams has dementia now. Oh crap, Porter thought. Miss Tegan was staring at him and he had the cover of the pink diary standing up. He knew that he was supposed to keep it flat so that no one could see, but he got so into his writing, he almost forgot about his mom. Mrs. Tegan liked to get in all the kids' business, and he knew something would come of this, if not now, then later. She shook her head of big black curls and grabbed the arms of the dingy pink chair and hoisted herself up. Peter got up, threw the girly diary in his backpack, and was on his feet in a few seconds. "Porter," she called out. He wanted to keep going, but he stopped because that's just who he was now. He didn't turn to face her though. It wasn't out of fear, but more a lack of respect. "Porter," she put her hands on her hips, making them look even bigger in her cheap flower print dress. He just looked over his shoulder at her. She was quiet. He got it. He turned around and gave her a cold stare. His hair was getting closer and closer to his eyes. If Mom were still alive, she would have cut it by now. The thought made him tear up. He had been perpetually close to tears now for over a year. It wasn't normal. Then again, his life wasn't normal anymore either. "Let me see it," she demanded. "What are you talking about?" he asked, annoyed. "You know just what I'm talking about." He sighed heavily and threw his backpack on the closest library table and took out the pink diary. He handed it to her and said, "Are you going to leave me alone now?" She cringed in anger. "That is not how you talk to an adult." She brushed one of her stupid curls from her face and added, "I'm taking you to Principal Baxter's right now. We have issues with gender and respect." She grabbed his arm and his frayed blue backpack and led him out of the somber library. Baxter's bald head was shining under the ceiling light with a deep green glass lamp cover. He was reading the last of the diary entry. "Now, and Becca told me, Grams has dementia now." He scratched his head and furrowed his brow while closing the girly book. Porter was slightly embarrassed, but he knew no one would understand why he did it or was doing this as many times as he had already. Deep sight, he didn't know why he was either, but reasons weren't as important anymore. "Do you like being a boy, Porter?" Baxter was concerned. Porter rolled his eyes. "I'm not queer. I just wanted to write for this project I have." "There's no school project that I've heard of that calls for a boy writing as a teenage girl. It's not for school. I like writing, and I was experimenting with my writer's voice or whatever they call it," Porter said, looking Baxter in the eyes. "I never knew you liked writing so much. But wouldn't you like to write in a man's journal? I have stationery at home. I could bring you one of my leather journals." Porter inhaled deeply and then pressed the air out of his nose in a rush. "I'm not queer for the last time. You don't know what I'm doing. I'm not doing anything illegal. I just want to be able to write and do what I want." "This isn't about doing illegal things, Port. You go to school here, and when I see a student behaving out of whack, I have to act in your best interest while you are under my care. That's what your dad would want. And your mother too, Porter looked at the blue wall to the left because if he looked at Baxter, he would lunge at him, or at the very least say something vile. You gonna let me go to gym now? I'm gonna have you wait right here and let me write a letter to your dad. You're gonna take it home and give it right to him. If I find out he has not received it, I will go to his job and talk to him personally. Porter almost broke down and cried. He liked Baxter, but would never give him a reason to think he cared about what he or any of these dumb teachers thought. He was sitting on the low slab porch in the summer's night's breeze. His neighbors with the quaint styled house across the street on the corner had an old-fashioned metal-hewn lamp that gave off a romantic orange glow. It was powered by trash, and the waste went into compost. Porter only knew that because from an early age all fountains were taught the ways of sustainability. His legs were crossed at the ankles, but by no means was he too relaxed. He didn't know what to expect from Dad anymore. He was a different man since Porter's mother died. Surprisingly, Dad didn't take out any frustrations on the kids. In fact, he seemed to sense the need to nurture them more. That was what Porter was fearing. In some sick way, he wanted Dad to beat the crap out of him. He didn't want to see the man be easy on him and lower himself to the level of cowardice of so many men of this age. Porter had sat on the porch for an hour and could no longer resist the temptation to go inside to his room to write at his cozy desk in the corner that had a great view from his south window. It looked away from where Mom died. He was looking down at the ruled notebook paper with the blue lines. He only had written one sentence and could not force himself to write on because he knew what came out would be fluff, something not connected to his heart. The door creaked open in the foyer. Dad was home. Porter waited while Dad went to his office and changed out of his apron. He still worked at the Yellow Fin. He made Porter quit because he started to take it easy on him and Stan. Instead, Dad gave Porter an allowance. It was about 30% less than he would make if he kept his job, but he couldn't complain. Stan stayed at home even though he graduated. He wasn't taking Mom's death too well either. He didn't tease Porter anymore. Everyone had lost heart, it seemed. Porter came downstairs in the dim light after Dad ate and went back into his cluttered study. He had begun reading more, especially the Bible. Porter came in the office with his head down and handed Dad the letter. Dad sighed and took it. He put on his gold-rimmed reading glasses and slowly read the note. After, he looked at Porter and snorted. "You straight?" Dad asked. "Yeah," Porter answered. Dad put the letter on his handcrafted maple desk. He rubbed his eyes and put his glasses on top of the letter. With his head slightly down, Dad said, "People will start talking if you keep this stuff. Be a man, okay? Got it?" "I know. I was just..." Dad put his hand up for silence. "Got it?" "Yeah," Porter answered. "Bedtime." As Porter walked up the stairs into his room, he felt as if he was itching on the inside around his lungs. Even at this age, he knew that life was never going to be the same. Nothing could replace her.